A lot of different names for types of shops. One of my least favorite names for a shop. It just kind of annoys me. But sometimes you get that name as a job shop. And that name is a junk shop. Sometimes you are called because you end up with pieces of junk laying around besides what you're working on. So you are known as a junk shop. Or you're known as a junk shop because you're the guy that fixes other people's junk. Not quite as bad, but similar. Originally, when I was told about types of shop in college, they told us there's job shops, production shops, and captive shops. We come up with all kinds of different designations for shops, really. But it has changed so much today. A job shop today is normally one of those in-between ones, which when I went to work for it, I made up my own name. I called it a production job shop. That's mostly what job shops are known as today. You have a CNC machine or banks of them. You work on equipment that is from this diameter to that diameter, and you are doing the job of producing things for other shops. That's what's known today. The bare concept of a job shop is I do jobs, as opposed to I make cannons, I make locomotives, I make mining equipment, which we do make mining equipment and locomotives and cannons. Besides that, that is all you do. If you're not a job shop, you make those things, so that is your job. The captive machine shop is the machine shop that is part of the locomotive shop, part of the shop for making mining equipment. They are captive. They're owned by that company. That makes them a captive shop. A production shop, which most people don't understand what used to be production shop. And this is a thing they call them production shops today a lot of times when it's just a bunch of CNC machines that are owned by General Motors for some little product. But real production shops years ago were ones that had special machines that were built, might be CNC, and they do this in automotive. They take it to the extremes. A true production shop is we built machinery. We bought machinery that makes this bolt. It makes this U-joint. It's not a general machine, whether it's computer controlled or mechanical. It is a machine that makes this part. We may modify it. It may have a few different pieces it makes, but it makes crankshafts. This machine over here, it's not a milling machine, which is used a lot of times today, a CNC milling machine that's milling out the basic form of the crankshaft, and then we go to the crankshaft grinder. No, it is a machine that's made to make crankshafts, and it starts out doing one part, and they process down, and it makes crankshafts. You have another machine that makes engine blocks. This is production. And if you start looking at old videos on YouTube of companies that produce things even with manual machines, when it's made to make one item, it really kicks bottom. It, compared to something, I don't care, it gets the job done because people thought about it, planned it, designed it to make that one part. And that is production. And that's where I a lot of times get annoyed with people. Oh, this is really fast because it was done by a computer CNC machine. Okay, it's faster than a manual machine of the same class. But it's not, just because it's controlled by a computer doesn't mean it's going to kick it out faster than something that is built to make that part. Yeah, so different types of shops. I don't know, the names don't really apply as much as they used to, but don't call me a junk. No, we are a job shop. We are a quality job shop. And damn it, we are captive to whatever I choose. Bert was just asking me, they don't do the production machines today. They do. There's times when And that's like the modular name for Ford. They came up with the modular engine name, which is now gone away, but the Coyote, which is still a current, well, I think is still a current engine, the Coyote series is a takeoff from that. But what it was about was modular tooling. They had tooling for their definite building engine block machinery that was just for making engine blocks. They made this whole line, I've never seen it, and somehow it had modular tooling, and that's where the name modular engine comes from. Had nothing to do with the design of the engine, it had to do with the design of the tooling. And so, but the modular selected specifically, somehow as they put their modules together, it made a definite center line. Center to center distance on the cylinders had to always be the same. And that's part of why you have this weird V10 that's not really, but is, that they made, you know, and a stroked out 5.4. There's some really good things in that engine design, but it all came back to the machine. Now, if instead of using that modular building engine block setup that they did, if instead they just used a bank of Mazaks or I forget some of the other ones that just do everything, and you have these CNCs that slowly build engine blocks, you would never get the speed of production. But when you want to change, it is a little bit of tooling and some numbers. It's not a lot of change. And so that's like, they do still use, in industry, you still use specific machines. But since the CNCs are so capable today of changing what you're doing, the CNCs have gotten rid of some of the production machines that we used to have. It also, though, makes us more needing to have this variability because we more quickly redesign things. Where in the old days, there would be, this is the bolt we use, and we design it for this bolt. Today, it's easy enough to make changes. We come up with 22 different weird bolts that we have to do. So the specific machines do still exist, I mean, but it's not the same. And the names of the different shops has not solidified indefinitely knowing what they are anymore. And then you get into, is machining just strictly cutting material, or is it 3D printing? Since you have machines today that 3D print and cut material both. They do both in the same machine. You've got wire electrode discharge. You've got spark machines. You've got plunging machines. You've got so many things that are not the traditional cutting, but because of the accuracy involved, they want people that are in the same mindset that a machinist is to do this work. Yeah. So, types of shops. Howee's the machine shop. We don't need to worry about what type it is. It's just Howee's.